operating system. Okay. So what is this operating system? So we discussed about a hardware. First, what we discussed about a hardware. What we discussed in a hardware? About a CPU, RAM, BIOS or ROM, motherboard. Okay. What we on a hard disk, SSDs, network interfaces cards. That is in our in a networking we learn about a NIC. NIC is also hardware component, right? Network interface cards. Okay. On the motherboard we have a different chipsets, right? Like this. So this is our hardware components. So I gave you a desktop or a laptop. So with this all good CPU, RAM, everything is there. Now you have to run an application. You have to open some paintbrush, or maybe you have to give some instructions to run some program, or maybe you have to add two numbers. So what can we do it? So to do that one, what we need is first of all, a user interface is required to interact with your computer. So what we need is a user interface. So then to do certain things, we need that related application, right? Paintbrush application is required. Notepad application is required. Word application, Excel application is required. You want to play a song, that VLC player application is required. You want to access a website, then web browser application is required. To run these applications, so you have to run the application, then only we can able to use that application. We have to run the application. To run these up, to install and run these applications. So they need a environment is required. Okay. So environment is required. So user, finally the end user, what is required? End user interface to interact with your system. Okay. To interact with your system. To run its applications. User has to run applications. Right. So there is directly can't interact with the hardware directly. It cannot run applications on the hardware directly. So something is required in between. So that is called an operating system. It's act as an interface between hardware and end user. It is act as an interface between hardware and end user. Operating system provide user interface. Operating system provide a environment to run application. Operating system provide an environment to run application. Operating system provide user interface, so then user can able to interact with your system. And operating system interact with your hardware. Okay, because your hardware, your processor, RAM, these are all actually doing the process, right? So to run an application is important, CPU is also important, right? Processor is important, RAM is important. But the application to CPU, direct interaction is not there. So which is providing that one is operating system. Okay, so that is what is an operating system. Operating system is a software which is act as an interface between end user and computer hardware. Every computer must have at least one operating system to run other programs. Every computer must have at least one OS. Without OS, you can't use your computer. It's not possible for user to use any computer or a mobile device without having operating system. OS helps you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak computer language. What computer language? Binary language. You have to give input in binary format, at least hexadecimal format. Anybody learn in their academics, like CSCIT people or ECE people, 8085, 8086, microprocessor programming, move A, B. move A comma 10, move B comma 10, add A comma B. That is a assembly language. For that one also, 8085, when we are done 8085. So for this program, we have to write and convert into hexa format, and we have to give hexa input. For 8085, that's only direct hexa input. In 8086, directly we can type this in the keyboard. It converts that information into hexa and give it to the processor. But finally, processor understand the binary format like this, hexa to binary direct. Entire binary wise you can give, but hexa wise you can give hexa code. Okay. But are we doing anything like that now? Simply we are running different applications. We are interacting with our computer without knowing any hexadecimal binary numbers, right? So, but how system will understand, that is taken care by your operating system. Or input, your application, everything is convert and understand to the operating system is done by your operating system. Convert and understand by computer hardware by your operating system. Every computer must have at least one app. Without voice, you can't do it anymore. Applications like Chrome, Word, games, or anything you are running, okay, so that it needs some environment in which it will run and perform its task. So this is about operating system. As you said, guys, operating system is provide an interface to the user, right? It's an interface between hardware and user. Operating system provide user interface, runs user applications. Okay, that part of operating system called as shell part of operating system. And operating system also interact with your hardware. That part of operating system called kernel. Some people call kernel like that. No problem, guys. Any word it is kernel, allergy. Okay, kernel. Operating system interact with your hardware, that is called kernel. Operating system interact with the user, providing user interface and running applications. That is a shell part of your operating system. So in operating system architecture, there is a two parts, kernel part and shell part. So kernel part of operating system is that layer which is near to your hardware. It is kernel part of OS interact with your hardware. Shell part is interact with the user. So what are the user commands, user applications, user input? Shell will understand, convert into kernel understandable. So kernel will run that input on the hardware, process it, and take it to the kernel. Kernel again give it to shell. Shell will show to the us. Okay. So kernel interact with your hardware and it manages hardware related kind of stuff like a process management, memory management, network management, disk management, all hardware component management. It will done by kernel only. Shell simply interact with the user, provide user interfaces, run applications. Of course, different shells are there. In a Linux and Unix, the what shell we are using is bash shell. This is an additional point only, guys. That's it. Okay. Bash shell, Bourne again shell, which is currently using shell in a Linux and Unix. Bourne shell. Next. User interfaces. Shell also providing user interfaces, right? So GUI currently in a Windows, what we are using is GUI, graphical user interface. So everything we are operating graphical base. We are open, close. We can able to see directly what is going on. Okay, pictures, everything. That is graphical user interface. And another interface is command line interface or TY, text-based or terminal-based interfaces. Command line interface means you can interact with your system using commands only. To run any application or a program, or you want to give some input, you want to create something, or you want to delete something, everything we do by commands only. We're configuring, checking, everything by commands, and that is a command line interface. Some people refer this CLI also as a TY, like a text-based interfaces. Some people like say TUI is different from CLI. Yes, there is a small difference is there. Terminal based or text based interfaces to CLI. It's actually CLI based only. On the CLI, you want to do something like you want to do certain tasks so that the TUI based commands are there. So if you run the TUI based command, so it will give a kind of menu type. Means you have to select certain option or maybe you have to navigate to some window without using mouse with the keyboard help only you can able to do certain tasks. Instead of typing purely a commands, so they will give you a kind of menu type like a sconfig. One of the thing is sconfig. In Linux, we have NMTUI kind of stuff. Okay, these are a TUI based. So example, you can see NMTUI. Network Management Terminal User Interface, TUII. See, so it's not a pure command line. So in the command you put a NMTUI, it will show this kind of window type. So it is used to network management TUI. Okay, edit connection, then go to this window, it will open, and you are changing from dynamic to manual, automatic to manual, assigning IP address like this. Okay, so these options are selected by using a up arrow, down arrow, space bar for selecting. Okay, so these are the navigation type. It's not GUI, but not CLI also. Okay, so it's might make easy purpose. Sconfig in a Windows we use this sconfig command. So this you can also this is also kind of TUI. So it's a menu type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to do some network settings. I have to press 8. Then it will network settings information work. So what option will get it? Okay. So this is TUI. So this is about your operating system architecture. Next, we'll go to the types of operating system. Just relax. Of just relax. Just 1 minute, 1 second. We continue. Okay, guys. What's the next is types of operating system. SOS, NOS. Network operating system, simple operating system. In the types of operating system, different types of operating systems are there. One is SOS, NOS, single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask, mobile operating system, real-time operating system, distributed operating systems, like different types of operating systems are there. Types of voices are different voices are different. Okay. So don't get confused. So types of voices. So SOS, NOS, simple operating system. It is also, we can say, as a desktop operating system. Okay, simple operating system, nothing but a desktop operating system, like your Windows 10, Windows 11. These are desktop operating systems. Network operating systems are like a server operating system. So why it is like that? Network operating system means it will provide a certain type of services through network. Okay, so network operating system purpose is it's providing different network services through networks. Okay, network based service like DHCP, DNS, or maybe Active Directory, web services, file servers. Like these are all network operating systems provide these type of services. So that's why it is called server operating system. Server OS is providing that one. Windows servers, like a current version of Windows Server is 2025. 2025, 2022, 2019, 2016 is like that. So newer to the world one. Windows Server operating system, Linux or basically Linux and Unix based devices are network operating system, server purpose only. Okay. So this is types of operating system. Next, other types of operating system. Single user, single task. When you only one user can log in at a time, and only one task you can able to perform at a time. Only one task you can perform. Once task completed, then second task. That is a single user, single task based OS. Single user multitask. Single user multitask. What is single user multitask? Only one user can log in. For example, you take Windows operating system, any Windows desktop or Windows server. Only one user can log in to the system, either directly or remotely, means through remote desktop or physically, only one user can able to access. Okay, once the user log out, then only other user can log in. Same time, two users cannot log in, either directly or physically or remotely. Okay, but multiple tasks we can run, right? Right now I'm running multiple tasks. I'm running Paintbrush, Microsoft Teams, Chrome browser, Edge browser, like that. Next, multi-user multitask. Basically, Linux and Unix-based operating systems are multi-user multitasking. Means multiple users can log in to the same system, physically log in, or remotely through network also people can log in. Same time, multiple users can log in. And of course, they can perform multitasking also. Means multiple tasks they can able to run. So that is multi-user multitasking. Single user, single task, multi-user multitask. Okay, single user multitask. Other different types of operating system. Other types of operating systems, real-time operating system. So real-time OS means that what we are using OS, either to Windows, Linux, or Unix OS. Someone manufactured this one, right? Someone programmed this operating system, either Microsoft or maybe a Red Hat or maybe Ubuntu organization, okay, or maybe a Solaris Oracle. Okay, they build this operating system, and these OSs can be used for multiple different types of devices, right? Different types of device supporting operating system they build it. So any new updates or new versions releases, they control these kind of versions, right? Whenever the update is available, they will release that update. So all based on the some organization we are using it and using for a different system. And there is certain additional features. Okay. So also extra wise it is provided, extra provided. You are not choosing it. It is also there is some additional features also. Okay. Some are even you don't require, but it is still available. Some are you required, you have to pay or maybe you have to download and use it. Okay. But in a real-time operating system is not like that. It is a kind of customized device. This real-time OS is designed for specific type of hardware. Okay. Based on your specific type of hardware, OS is designed. That voice updates, the required applications, commands are separately designed. It's not working in any other systems, maybe specific device purpose. Moreover, why it is a real-time voice is important. You know, in a scientific places like brackets, research centers, right? So they need an operating system. So there is no binding between the organization who is providing and that updates, upgradations, that is should not be controlled by anyone. So when you want, we can able to do that additional features and all. We can include it when we need it, not when there it is ready. Okay, like your WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. When when their companies got a new feature, new update is available, they will release it. It's not about you want it or not. It's about it is available and you will get it. That's it. Okay. So that is a common commerce. But real time is not like that. If you want certain additional feature, we'll add that feature whenever we need it. It's not like when it is available. Again and again, distributed operating system. What is this distributed OS? Different ways we can tell. You can also search in Google, guys, or any YouTube videos, find out what is the distributed OS, just to know it. Distributed OSs are actually runs on the different processors. Okay, one single OS runs on the multiple systems. And for supporting distributed applications also. That's one statement, that's it. You can find them. Interestingly, mobile operating system. We thought our mobile operating systems are two. Only one is Android, that is another one is iOS. iOS for iPhones, right? But not only now, it's earlier also there is a lot of OSs, mobile OSs, or even feature phones, keypad phones are there in a small mobile phone that is also having a small kind of OS inside. Okay. Next, in not only Android and iOS, there is Symbian. So Symbian is from Nokia. Nokia world phones, they use the Symbian voice. The voice's purpose is providing interface, right? User can able to interact through that voice interface. Tizen. Tizen is, I think it is from Samsung. Tizen from Samsung. BlackBerry voice. BlackBerry phone, BlackBerry voices. Nowadays, these Blackberries are gone, of course. But in our old times, that smartphone means it's that time it is a BlackBerry. QWERTY keyboard, email communications, BlackBerry to BlackBerry free message communications, like Apple having a FaceTime kind of stuff. So like this, here it is, B2B messages. Okay, is there? It's a BlackBerry. Next one is Windows phones. This Windows Phone OS is not a new one. It is very old smartphones like HTC, AT&T. Their mobile phones they use Windows OSs inside. Okay, so later Nokia with the Nokia collaborations when smartphones become bigger market in worldwide, then they collaborate Microsoft and Nokia. They build a Lumina series with a Windows operating system inside. So of course it is market-wise it is failed because of features compared to Android phones are lesser cost that time and with multiple applications. But Android Windows phone is limited applications and cost. So people don't like it, automatically it is gone. So again, app compatibilities. So Android, a lot of applications are there. Microsoft, very less. Again, difference between desktop OS and server OS, guys. So desktop OS means what we are using is in our system is desktop OS only. And what we are using, we are running different applications, games, data processing, multimedia, audio, video playing, okay, web browsing, programming, like different kind of stuff we are doing it on your desktop OS. And it is also like a client PC for your server. They're also called as end user device. Server voices are different. The server voice has a built-in roles or feature by installing and configuring server voice built-in roles and features. It's become a particular server providing different services. What happened? Okay. And these server voices also support certain kind of server applications. Our server voice having a built-in roles and features by installing and configuring it, it's provided different services like DHCP, DNS, mail services, authentication services, web services, file services, storage services. Okay, so different application-based services we provide from server. So these are the different types of voices. What are the different voices? Different voices are Windows voice, Linux voice, Mac OS, Unix OS. In this OS is also different OSs. Okay. Desktop OS, server OSs, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows Server. These are different OSs. Linux is directly Linux-based OSs are there. There is no Linux OS, actually Linux-based OSs, like Oracle Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Debian, Ubuntu, Debian, SUSE, Fedora, CentOS. So different Linux operating systems are there. In from Unix, HP Unix, Solaris, AAX, okay, ZYOS. So these are different operating systems. In a Mac also different versions of Mac operating system is available. The Mac is a OS, like a Windows. With different versions. Again, guys, this is compulsory, everybody do it. Windows desktop operating system. So you check your operating system. For example, I'm typing about your PC. When you go to this about your PC, okay, so scroll down, you can find what is your operating system. Mine is Windows 11 Pro. So what is this? I'm using Windows operating system. And what version? 11 version. What edition? Pro edition. You must check what is your operating system in your laptop. And also you can check in your mobile phone also. Check your laptop operating system. Where is the OS? Simply type about your PC in your system. Okay, it will open about under Windows specification. You can see edition Windows 11 Pro. Okay, for you it maybe shows Windows 11 Home Edition or single package user or Home Edition. Most of you are having Home Edition, whether Windows 10 or Windows 11. In my old laptop, my old personal laptop, it is Windows 10 Home Edition. Windows 10 Home Edition. In this laptop, Windows 11 Pro Edition. Home Pro Enterprise, these are editions. 10, 11, these are versions. Okay. So check your operating system, make sure, because in the last time, in a few interviews, they asked these questions. What is your operating system version? Operating system edition. Or what operating system in your laptop? What our operating system in your mobile phone? Okay. That is it. Okay. This is the point. Yeah. Tell me. No, no. So there is another questions. What is the web browser and operating system? RAM and hard disk difference. So please read those things, okay, and find out. And also, what's the difference between Windows and Linux? Differences also. Okay. So what we will do tomorrow, first I will discuss about the device drivers. Once we discuss device drivers, okay, then we'll go with the troubleshooting. But these parts you have to read. If you have a doubt, then ask me. I will explain difference between Windows OS and Linux based operating systems, RAM and hard disk differences, Windows web browser and OS. And one more is there. After drivers also, you should check it one more. That is system configuration. Just I told only one thing. That is what is your operating system, how to check what is your operating system. In same place only, you can also check what is your processor, RAM, graphic memory, hard disk, plus your operating system. It gives an answer of what is your system configuration, what is your laptop configuration. Okay, so these are important. It's a very basic, generalized. For this one, you don't require training. But now, what happened? People are not answering. People are not answering very simple, basic question also. That's the problem. What is your laptop? What processor you are using in laptop? people are unable to give an answer that type of question. That's why we are specifically telling check your system configuration. Anyway, next class we're going to see that one. Here we're going to stop, guys, because it's already 1:05. So tomorrow we'll try to start earlier as possible, like 10 o'clock.